attendance. I would ask that each board member please check your microphones so that when you speak, you can be heard. We will hear each other's opinion, but ultimately act as one. We will speak candidly and courteously to each other and listen to dissenting or different viewpoints with an open mind. We will help each other to depersonalize disagreements. Once we reach a decision or compromise as a board, we will each support the will of the board in word and deed. If any board member is not present and will be participating electronically, I need to read this out loud. Mr. Camp has notified us that he will be unable to attend in person, and he will be asking to participate electronically through our service here. So according to the school board policy BDD, electronic participation in meetings from remote locations, a school board member may participate in a meeting by electronic means when a quorum of the school board is physically assembled at the meeting location, and arrangements have been made for the voice of the remote participant to be heard by all persons at the meeting location. These requirements have been met. The board must approve the electronic participation by a majority vote of the members who are physically assembled. So I need a motion and a second and a vote by the board members assembled to approve this electronic participation in the meeting by the board member.
I move that Mr. Camp be allowed to participate electronically in tonight's meeting.
Second. Thank you both. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed. Motion has been carried. Mr. Camp, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. And if there are not any amendments, I would like to get a motion and a second for the approval
Madam Chair?
of the agenda. Yes.
Madam Chair, I would like to just ask a question. Is there any problem with having it just reversing the closed meeting in the unfinished business section? Is there any problem with that? Can we change that?
Can you say that again?
Is there any way just to, I know that we have unfinished business before the closed session, and I was just gonna see if maybe we couldn't get the closed session before the unfinished business, because there might be some things that are discussed in closed session that, probably need to be brought out under unfinished business. So I was just gonna ask if that would be possible. I think we have to have a two-thirds vote from the board to make that change, but I'm just asking that that be done.
Well,
So that maybe we can, streamline the, presentation tonight.
oh, well, Mr. Camp, the way the agenda has been changed for this evening. Under unfinished business, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but under unfinished business is the architectural design update by Mr. Boyd.
Yeah.
Then in closed session, of course, there's personnel, and then under contracts, the construction management at risk firm. Does that
Well,
help?
I see, so the construction management at risk has been taken off of unfinished business?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
okay. All right. Are there any other questions? Okay. I need a motion for the approval of the agenda as it is, and a second.
I move we approve the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed. The approval of the agenda has been approved. Unfinished business. The only item this evening is the architectural design update. Mr. Boyd?
I'm going to hand the microphone over to Mr. Munt momentarily. We have been very busy in the month since the last time we saw you. We've taken the design to a different level of completeness. Had an opportunity to preview that with a few people on the board. Some of you are easier to get hold of than others. But with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Steve Munt, and he's going to walk us through the design.
Okay, thanks, Jim, and thanks all of you. Okay, so actually, if you want to, I'll just stand up here, and you can, yeah. So this is our site plan, as you're all fairly accustomed to seeing it right now. North is straight up, Old Halifax Road. The additional property that was acquired through the Powell property purchase, your existing site. The only part of what you're seeing here from the existing site, we do have the outline of the existing high school right here, so you can get a little bit of a sense of where the new building is relative to the old building. And then you can see the middle school down this way, the stadium, the track, the existing pond on site. Those tennis courts are existing, so that gives you kind of a lay of the land of where we are here. We have located the building here. You've seen it there before, bus loop in back, parking, and parent drop-off. So one of the very important things with site design that we've been working on all this time, which we've talked to you about before, is the separation of the parking traffic from the parent drop-off traffic from the bus traffic. Get those three patterns of traffic separate from one another. And also trying to deal with the issue of your very long parent drop-off line, trying to give some additional linear footage, queuing space for your parent drop-off. So what we've achieved here is this is the current entrance where the traffic light is, and that is the entrance for all of your parking here. You've got your very large student parking lot here, faculty parking here, and some additional faculty parking along this edge. The parent drop-off is coming in here. This is the drive that currently runs to your circle that's right in front of the existing school. Now it comes this way, in front of the school, loops around, and back out. If you were to add up all the linear footage from here, along here, and back to where the pull-off lane, the exiting lane begins, it's about 1,600 linear feet as compared to what you currently have is just shy of 1,100 feet. So we've added a little more than 500 linear feet to your drop-off lane. Buses would all be coming back here. As you know, some of your buses already come from the middle school site. That would still work the same way. They come in here on Middle School Road, park, and come back out. We are also envisioning that Tabernacle Lane here will be improved, and this can be a second point that buses can come in from, come in this way, park, and go back out. So two ways out for buses. We have separated the parking from the parent drop-off, but we do make various connections at various places so that when you're using that parking lot for a really big event and everybody's trying to leave at once, you do open those up. You do have multiple ways off the site from that very large parking lot. Same view, just without the footprint of the existing school. So we'll move to the floor plan now. This has roughly the same orientation as the plan that you just looked at. Very similar to what you saw before, just more developed. There's your parent drop-off right here. Here's your main entrance point. This is admin and clinic. This is counseling over here. This is your secure vestibule. All visitors during the day come in, check in, and then come on in this way. Your academic wings off in this direction. 2 stories for this wing, 3 stories for this wing. And then coming down this way, you have your long, broad Main Street. You have your performing arts program here with your auditorium, your 2 big music rooms, some of your drama spaces back here. Set construction and set storage is over here in this area where it has access to a vehicular loading area. The purple is CTE spaces. This big one right here in the middle is automotive. Also in this band, you have horticulture down here at this end with a greenhouse, and you have building trades right here. So all of these have access to this same loading area. Everything here in the orange is PE related. There's your main gym, 2-story gym with seating at both levels. Auxiliary gym is back here in the back. Large fitness weight training here. All along this floor, these are all locker rooms at this edge. So there's your cafeteria right in the heart of everything. That's serving as obviously your cafeteria dining area, but also it's sort of a lobby space for your auditorium, lobby space for your gymnasium. Green is all the kitchen related things. This purple right here is your culinary arts program. So they have easy access to one another and both have access to the dining room.
Culinary arts, I know I don't have the microphone, has a small room that could double as a private dining room. And I think annually the culinary arts group prepare meals for you. That's a place where it could happen, not be in the dining room. Steve, while we're on this, I'd also like to point out where the assistant principals are located in the knuckle of the student educational wings.
It's right here.
Great visual control of everything.
Right, here's your elevator for this part of the building, and here's your main stair for this part of the building, right on Main Street. The assistant principal's suite is right here. When you go into each wing, you see there's the teacher planning area, and there's the toilet rooms directly across for that wing. Here's teacher planning and toilet rooms directly across for this wing. The lighter purple colors are typically core classrooms. The darker purple colors are typically CTE. These are the special ed, the specialized special ed programs that have the life skills labs and the special ed exam room and the special ed toilet there, right in front, in close proximity to the main entrance and close proximity to the clinic as desired.
Any questions about the drawing?
Okay, so one thing I will say that is different conceptually from what you saw the last time. The last time you saw this plan, this wing was 2 stories, and this wing was 3 stories, and this wing was dropping down. That has changed. We've been working with the civil engineers on the site plan and determined that in grading out the site and making all the vertical changes in elevation work with parking and bus loop, it was actually better that all of that ground floor that you just saw all be on the same level. So now instead of this part stepping down, all of the main floor is on the same level, and it's this wing that steps up. So you'll see a 3rd floor in a minute that's this wing. But for now, this is your 2nd story. Again, here's your large stair coming up this in the building in the academic wing. There's another large stair coming up right here, coming up from your dining room. This is open to dining below. Coming up from the dining room and to the 2nd floor stands of your gymnasium. Additional instructional space wrapping around the gym here. These are the 4 classrooms that are driver's ed, health classrooms associated with the PE program. Those are also the 4 additional spaces that can be used as changing areas when you have tournaments. So between your 4 locker rooms and these 4 classrooms, you have 8 potential changing areas in immediate proximity to the gym. These are your visual arts right here. Performing arts was downstairs. This is visual arts up here, your 3 art labs. This is junior ROTC here at this end. But when you come up this main stair here, and again, here's your elevator in this part of the building. One of the main spaces here, sitting directly above administration and counseling, that's your media center. So your media center is also at a very prominent place here, right at the heart of the school. This corridor also takes you, there's 2 vestibules here that you can get into the top end of the seating in the auditorium. Again, it's not a balcony. This seating, if you go all the way down, you come down to ground level, but it's a steep slope of seating, so you can get in at the top or at the bottom. This is roof over the kitchen and roof over some of the 1-story areas of the building. Green is science. All your science labs are here. Chemistry, the 4 biology labs, the 3 earth sciences labs, all the sciences grouped together. Again, light purple is core classrooms. The darker purple colors are some of your CTE spaces. Once again, you have the assistant principal's suite right here at the stair and at the elevator. Teacher planning is right across from the toilet rooms. Teacher planning right across from the toilet rooms. And so then going up to the top floor, here's your stairs coming up and your elevator. You have this wing right here. This is where your 9th grade academy could be. So that's the way the plan lays out. The rest of the images are what we envision for the exterior character of the building, which not all of you have seen. I hope you like what we've come up with. But here's some aerial views of the site and plenty of other views where we'll zoom in a little bit closer, but you'll be able to see it's a red gray solution with a couple of different tones of metal panel and some lighter color masonry, but for the majority, it's a red brick building flying above Old Halifax Highway, your large parking lot in the middle, your apparent drop-off coming through here and out, and the sort of entrance plaza to the school right here. And as always, your future athletics complex over here.
We envision in the athletics complex that there will be a ticketing building that would also have concessions and toilets. That may not be the exact size of it, because we want programmed it. But the thinking is that the athletics complex would have a fence around all of it. So that, and everybody would go through that same ticketing point regardless of what sport was being played. So all of the sports that are played through would use that building in that way. If there is, at some point in the future, another building dedicated to sports that's for training, weight training, or locker rooms, that could go at the far end, but that's not, it's not forgotten as the only one.
Just another view from another angle. Yep,
I have a
question?
I noticed that there aren't any facilities on there for the people on the other side. That's for us on our side, what's for the
Well,
visitors?
You're talking about football?
Yeah,
Yeah, the little gray areas are actually the seats.
right,
And we put the larger area of seating, I assume that's for the home
Right, on
team.
the right side.
With the back to the west.
right.
So for a change, people in Halifax kind of won't be staring into the setting sun watching the game.
But I was talking about,
Visitors would.
I was talking about the facility that we have for tickets coming in and
Yes.
concessions. You got all, how do they get there? They have to walk around the field to go and get that?
They would have to walk the field.
They will walk,
Exactly how far that'll be, that has yet to be worked out. But
Okay.
that's a fairly common way that peer institutions will handle that.
Right, so
Time one.
tickets here, concessions here, and then walking in this direction, home stands.
they actually a long distance to both of them.
But we could build another ticket booth, but, that defeats the purpose of having one.
So here's a closer view of the main entrance, just flying in a little bit closer. You see your three-story academic wing right here, main entrance to the building, opportunity for a fairly nice plaza space out front, maybe some, some vegetation in here that might just simply be simple landscaping, or it might be some outdoor learning opportunities here. There's your auditorium and CTE wing back here, the large gymnasium in the back. Closer up view, same view, just moving in a little bit closer. Here's the view, like you're almost over the athletics area, looking back toward the school, your three-story academic wing and your two-story academic wing. We envision that this will be developed into some useful space, like some outdoor learning opportunities, like this showing an outdoor classroom here. Looking from the bus loop side, bus is here. Here's the entrance from the bus loop side, and if this is used for parking for an event in the gymnasium, this is where people parking here would come in. There's an outdoor dining area right here next to your dining room, which is beyond these areas here, right in there. And moving in a little closer on that same space.
That's our last one.
That's our last view. Yep.
So we would ask you for general approval. Are we headed in the right direction? Are there major things that we need to revisit for studying design from now until Thanksgiving? Hopefully, we'll have a construction manager at risk later today. The next thing will be pricing. So we really need you to tell us that we're headed in the right direction before we send this design to our cost construction manager at risk will hopefully be hired for what we call pre-construction services, which is estimating. So the two groups will both estimate it, and in the old days, they physically put them in the room together, but these days they do it in video call, go through their estimates and try to reconcile differences, so that at the end of that, we have a pretty good idea that two different people are independently looking at something, they're reconciling numbers. So in a few weeks, we would then know what they think this will cost.
Okay, you said within a few weeks. I was gonna ask if this was something that would be ready at our next board meeting, but,
We can ask, but I don't think the CM at risk will start until we hire them. And it typically, 2 weeks, 3 weeks for them to start. First
Maybe
estimate
not
is
as
always
much,
the longest.
maybe not as much as 3 weeks, but you gotta give them 2.
Yeah, we can push them, but there's a lot of demand for their services right now. So,
so are you asking for us at this point just to take a vote on having you folks proceed?
yes, I mean, if we're not headed in a direction that is sympathetic to your wishes, then we need to pause and or go back and change things. But I think we are.
I mean,
But,
The plans are pretty consistent with the way we've been headed for a while, but for a lot of you, this is the first time you've seen the exterior character, so we definitely want to make sure that we're thinking the same way that you are. If you have,
Mr. Lloyd has a question, I believe.
No, I don't have a question. I was just going to make a comment. You know, if they're looking for individual comments, I was going to state that I like the direction. I mean, I feel like you've taken all of our input and as far as I can tell, pretty much incorporated all of our input so far. I'm not seeing anything that's been neglected so far. So as far as an endorsement, I would be willing to offer my endorsement on where you're at this point.
And to be clear, we're not asking for approval of the final design.
Yeah.
Because as we get numbers, we adjust things, and as we do design development work, we'll be studying these spaces and we'll be building, undoubtedly refine this in a number of ways.
So I'll just say I appreciate the progress you've made so far.
Is everyone ready for a vote, or is there any more discussion?
I had a question, quick. What is the student size for this side, for this building right now?
The square footage?
No, the student enrollment.
Good question.
well,
It's at our target number, we know that in 2025, the student enrollment is projected to be 1,325.
I've been reminded by Mrs. Shotwell that we need to take a vote after a closed session.
Okay?
Okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next item, I will call on Mr. Lloyd to take us into closed session.
Pursuant to Section 2.23711 Code of Virginia, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the purpose of considering the following specific matters: personnel, the appointment, resignation, and salaries of specific division employees as authorized by Section 2.23711.1 of the Code of Virginia, and contracts where the discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, including interviews of bidders or offerers, and discussion of the term or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body as authorized by Section 2.23711.29 of the Code of Virginia.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. We're now in closed session.